beer gives me a headache.
Yeah. Speaking of pivots, we're live here on Twitch. We are pivoting to the live on the internet stage of the show. Welcome,
Thanks
everybody.
for doing that to me. I appreciate that. I'm open enough. You asked me a personal question, and then you put my response.
Welcome,
Live
everybody,
on
to
the
another
air.
episode of Communal
Thanks.
Brewing, live here on the internet with Levi, myself, and my co-host Jason. Where every week we build a new budget EDH/Commander deck hopefully in a way that is interesting and unique from how people are typically building it.
Don't say that.
What do you mean?
Let's under-promise and over-deliver. Hey, everybody, we're
So I
going to
said
build
hopefully.
a deck. Oh, that's going to be worth $50-ish, and then we're going to give it, and then probably more stuff away. If you're fine with like getting that experience, which is we're going to build a $50 deck and give it away, you'll be surprised. It is quite a bit better than just that.
Mm-hmm. Did you get a new light?
Yeah, I've been trying.
There you go. You're more well lit than usual.
Yeah, people are like, the reason no one considers you a content creator is that you don't have a good lighting setup.
Is that why?
No.
Okay. I was gonna say.
I'm just trying to do anything.
I hear that.
Like, how many things do I have to tweak until I don't have to buy a badge to go to a con anymore? Right? Like,
And I think we'd have to tweak the decks we make and the things we say and a lot of
the
other
things
things.
the things I've tweeted.
Yeah. Yeah. So for anybody that was here,
at minimum, 2 giveaways minimum.
yeah. So we're gonna be giving 2 different decks away, probably because we have to give away Marvo's deck from last week because the giveaway thing wasn't working, but we've tested it out and it's working this week. Or at least it was 10 minutes ago. I don't know if we'll do them right at the end. Like we'll probably do maybe partway through. We'll do the Marvo deck.
One at the 1 hour mark. How about that?
Yeah. We'll do the Marvo
weekly.
one about halfway through, and then we'll do whatever one we're building today, which is not necessarily Jorah Aegis Innovator. It's just the page I was on. Whatever commander we build today, and that will be at the end per usual. So, stick around because the entire show will be giving decks away. However, we are taking suggestions currently for commanders to build for this stream. Sometimes we just do a random thing if someone wants to see
this is pre-release weekend. You don't pick random commander and
this is pre-release weekend. So let's pick a Tarkir Dragonstorm commander.
You know what? Now that I think that is a funny thing to do objectively.
I don't know about objectively, but it is funny. Like you would just completely ignore one of the most hype sets in the last 5 years.
Now, is no one in Tarkir wearing a hat? Is that why people like this set?
I don't currently see any hats. I'm seeing is the hood on a coat considered a hat?
No, it's a hood.
I know, but are hoods hats? I mean, this is like our hot dog sandwiches thing.
A hood is part of a different garment.
So Eshki,
a hat is a separate thing.
That guy's got a hat for sure. Eshki's kind of wearing a crown type thing. I feel like a crown's just a hat. I feel like
it's not a hat.
A crown's a hat. Are you kidding me? A crown is definitely a hat.
A crown's a crown.
What is it? Okay, how do you define how do you differentiate a crown and a hat?
Well, a crown could be considered something like a circlet or a diadem that encircles your head, but doesn't actually do anything on top. Like it's everything but a hat.
If a circlet or a crown is just the other part of the hat from like a yarmulke, is a yarmulke a hat?
See, I don't know. I'm not going to say anything. That's I don't know.
I honestly don't know the answer to that question.
I'm not going to wade in on that because I'm not going to say anything like this guy said that it's not a hat. Religious vestments don't count. A semantic
I just led you
argument.
right into the trap. But anyways, yeah, there's a few hats. This is like
why are you doing this to me?
I don't know.
Like, hey, we putting these on YouTube, and you're like, all right, here's a quagmire real quick. Hey, Jason, how do you feel about the Middle East?
What if the crown has a visor?
Give a deck away, guys.
Because honestly, what is a crown but a billless visor?
Right? Isn't the point of a yarmulke that you always are reminded it's there? Also,
I honestly, I'm not. I won't pretend to know all the things surrounding exactly
I
what
think a good hat,
what and why a yarmulke is, but
yeah.
Hat is super tight. Hat is there you go. Hat is crown is just a subtype of a hat. There you go. I think that's honestly, I feel like that's the most reasonable conclusion here. But if assuming that is true, there are a number of hats in here, but it is not like lots of hats.
Okay, actually, could I briefly rant because I actually have
Yes.
I think I figured out why the hats sets were dumb. The more Magic sort of took on kind of the flavor of other IPs, it's like, oh, we're going to Strixhaven. We're like, this is Harry Potter. Come on. The more they started to do that, the more it started to kind of clash with the secret layer stuff. So at the same time they were doing, here's literally Rick from The Walking Dead, but also
Yeah.
here's the Ghostbusters kind of, it's a haunted house set. So the more you kind of go, here's a nice little Easter egg for Mario Kart in your Magic the Gathering game. A cute little Easter egg for Mario Kart doesn't feel cute and fun. It feels like a jab in the ribs when you also have SpongeBob Counterspell, right?
Mm.
So I think it's kind of tough to get people to care about Magic IP and Magic characters that are flavored with like the La Croix flavoring of a real other IP when we can also just go make a Fallout deck. So it's hard to care about the Wild West adventures of Magic the Gathering, killing the kid, hee haw. I was like, dude, if I want Weird West, I will go build Caesar's Legion. So it's really hard to care about making the Magic characters wear the stupid hats to be like, hi, you guys like the cowboy shows. They don't have to do that, but they kind of feel like they have to, and they're trying to sell packs, making you care about loot. But like, I think people just want the IPs they want, and I think Magic might be able to get a little bit more serious with its core IP and do all the wacky shit in secret layers. I think that's the way to go.
I think
So
that
I'm
mean
hoping
I kind of think
that
that's what they
might
will
kind of
try to
make
do.
Magic magic-y again.
I think that's what they'll try to do because the thing to remember is that the development cycle of these sets is years in advance. So like they had like, you know, murders, outlaws, or whatever, and then Eighth Draft, like the hat sets, had them all right in a row because that's just what they were doing at the time. And then by the time they got feedback, I'm like, hey, we kind of don't love these.
We hate the hats, and they're like, well, you're gonna hate the next 3 sets.
Right. So like they're kind of already like in on that. And there's not a lot. You can't just pivot quick like that. So I think they'll probably hear the feedback and say, okay, let's not do as much of these like kind of like kooky sets.
But I think they know now, and yeah, but I think I really sat and thought about it, and to me, it wasn't that the hat stuff was lame. It was that it's just Magic had to be so dumb to compete with reality, right? It was like
kind of, yeah.
article about Trump trying to be like, hey, here's a little Susat of flavoring, a little Easter egg to the Glass Onion film, if you will. And it's just like, we have a SpongeBob counterspell where he's going, no, you don't counterspell. Like, it's, you can't satirize an insane reality.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those
so hard.
Well, where we live in an era too where every new movie and every new album is just a collaboration between 2 other existing things. Like it's not like new anything, so they have to kind of co-opt the flavor from something else or whatever. So like it doesn't, like, it's not shocking that Magic did the same thing and was like, oh, what can we combine this with? Oh, cowboys are kind of fun. And then, you know, we've got the Ghostbusters thing or whatever like that. I don't know. I think I mean, really the not that we're trying to do like a big old soliloquy on what 2024 Magic was, but they basically
talk about the hats.
I mean, they basically did Ready Player One, which I will fully admit I actually do like that movie, but like they basically just did Ready Player One where they just slammed in as many like references as they could, and because I think that's like a pop culture thing or whatever. So I think that's just what they did. But I think they've probably like heard the feedback from then and said, okay, maybe we don't need any of this. Like we don't need a ton of this weird stuff.
Yeah,
that's why. Like I
think instead of being like, oh, you like Final Fantasy? Well, here's
I mean, if you're gonna do
named Storm Cloud or some shit like that.
Well, it's
right?
like we're doing like
don't have to do that.
Well, I mean, we're doing UB stuff, so let that like if it warrants, let the UB be the goofy stuff, and just let that be what it is, and then let the Magic IP be the high fantasy that we were all used to for a long time. Because I don't know, if Unfinity didn't happen and the rest of those subsequent sets didn't look kind of like Unfinity, I don't think that they would leave quite a sour taste, because they would just be something a little bit different versus like kind of looking like that weird bad Unfinity set.
Nah, Magic just had to get dumber. Okay, so let's pick a let's
Yeah,
pick
let's pick
one of these.
a commander.
Let's pick out one of these guys. How about
However, if we did get a Mario secret layer, that might finally give a Mario Kart secret layer. That might finally give us the banana token. So, you know,
I think Tygam should, or not Tygam, what's his name? Tassiger should have a banana token.
Mm.
Although I did try to build other Tygam, and maybe that could be fun. Why don't we pick the least popular one here and just try hard to make a good deck for it for $50? That'll be the challenge.
So
Let's
we've
pick the
got
least popular one.
So technically, Serac Elusive Hunter is the least popular one. He's only got 14 decks. He's mono green. This spell can't be countered. Trample. Whenever a creature you control or a creature spell you control becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, draw a card.
What?
Feels really great to be in a 99.
That's terrible.
It's a great effect in the 99, but in the command zone, it's kind of not great.
Yeah, it's just like a good utility card. Man, Serac. There have been so many cool Seracs over the years.
Yeah.
So like you would kind of have to just be like Voltron-y because like the only thing he does.
I mean, basically, his whole thing is you would want to make a board that people want to get like individually target stuff with or whatever. Which, unfortunately, we now like live in an era where people are just running board wipes instead of targeted removal.
My farewell, or do you want to use your farewell and I'll use my farewell when he tries to rebuild?
Yeah, so it's like I'm sure like in limited this guy probably kicks ass because in limited you have to use lots of target interactions. So I'm sure he kicks ass in pre-release and draft and stuff like that.
Yeah,
in limited he's probably awesome.
60 or 45 card Magic or however.
He's probably great. Yeah, I have no doubt that he's great. But yeah, in Commanders,
41 cards. I'm an idiot. Yeah. So I think he's probably fine, but like there's nothing.
So of the multicolored commanders, Codis is the least popular one, I would say. Yeah. He's Sultai.
What about Tursa?
So Tursa is mono red. When it enters, discard up to 2 cards, then draw that many cards. Whenever Tursa attacks, if there are 7 or more cards in your graveyard, exile a card at random from your graveyard. You may play that card this turn. So that would
that's dumb. That's so weak.
So
cool.
It wants to play nice with like stuff like Fear of Missing Out.
Yeah.
Which that wants card types in the graveyard to get extra combats and stuff like that. But Fear of Missing Out is also a $6 card, so we can't even put that in the deck.
Yeah,
and that's
we could.
that's like we can't really put it in the deck, and it would be the best card in the deck.
But we could put it in the deck because we normally build a $35 deck.
We do, but we'd have to like really. I mean, we'd have to really build around making sure you get Fear of Missing Out on the field, because otherwise you're burning a lot of money on nothing.
Codis, so that makes me think
Luke's a big Codis guy. So Codis is Sultai.
Oh, we wouldn't be nice to Luke today. Okay, sorry, Luke.
Once during each of your turns, you may cast a creature spell from your graveyard by exiling 3 other cards from your graveyard in addition to paying its other costs. Whenever one or more creatures you control enter, if one or more of them entered from a graveyard or was cast from a graveyard, put 2/1/1 counters on Codis. So he basically wants to play Dredge.
For $50, I don't think they want to do that.
He wants to play Dredge and then kind of weirdly ramp into like kind of almost a Voltron thing by reanimating. So it's kind of interesting.
What about other Codis?
Other Codis. Is there a different Codis that I'm not aware of?
Yeah, there's.
Codis the Fangkeeper. Yeah, so Codis is 1 black, blue, and green. 2/1 indestructible. Whenever Codis deals damage to a player, exile the top X cards of their library, where X is the amount of damage dealt. You may cast any number of spells with mana value X or less from among them without paying their mana costs.
Okay, so this is a really rare case where the most built commander is actually fun and interesting, and not just like one that builds itself the most.
I think it kind of builds itself a little bit in that you basically just want to ramp and make Codis unblockable and then just steal their shit. Right? I mean, maybe there's something else we can do with it, but like if I was building Codis, I would make Codis unblockable.
What if we just put really ridiculous auras in there and like you were trying to hit just really expensive like
deals combat
damage so you could like
because it deals combat damage too, so that way you can so you can turn it into like a weird like Sultai version of Laughing Jasper Flint basically.
But also you could do stuff like play spells that put stuff on top of their library. Oh, you do it to your library?
No, do it to their library. So you do it to the library of the player
Their
you hit.
library. Yeah, that's what.
So you're stealing their shit.
No, so never mind. You can't cast your own spell. So you.
No. That's what I'm saying. Is you basically just want to ramp, steal as many cards as you can, and then cast.
By giants.
Yeah. You could definitely do Raised by Giants.
Oh, see, that's why this is the most popular commander. Plus, he's indestructible.
Yeah, he's indestructible. You do unblockable. You do Raised by Giants, and then you ramp.
Yeah, and then
all the way up.
You play Hinder, and you play stuff like, oh god, what is it? Temporal Spring. Just put like a creature on top of its owner's light. Yeah, there's all kind of stuff. We can make Hinder and Spell Rupture playable again.
Mm-hmm.
Kids, sit down. Back in 2011, there was a format called Elder Dragon Highlander that eventually became Commander. And back in my day, they would say, I cast my commander. You say, eat a fat fart. Actually, your commander's on the bottom of your deck for the rest of the game, asshole. And that was how we played EDH.
Had Tuck Rule and all that. Yeah.
Yep. So Spell Rupture was actually in the first EDH precon. They're like, not only is this a legit way to get rid of their commander forever, here's a brand new card just for this product to do it with. 2011 was wild.
So if you weren't just going to do unblockable, make CODIS huge, and then just cast their shit, like, how else would you play CODIS?
Yeah. So I was thinking it would the reason it would be cool is because it's a really like stupid deck that like you could build really fun for $50 because you put just stupid stuff like Raised by Giants and like
but you just slap
gets 8/8.
Just slap any half decent background in there.
Yeah. Because it's not you're not doing a separate thing. CODIS could be bad if it said instead of that damage you do this, but it does both.
Yeah, it does both. Yeah,
you don't have to pick.
Right.
And like it's rare for a commander to like do something really cool, but pitch in on what everyone's doing. You're not playing a sub game called, well, actually my cool thing is like, no, I dealt you damage, but also I got to be better by dealing damage. It's rare a commander does that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you want to build CODIS or do we want to try to find something else?
I mean, Neriv could be fun too.
I was looking at Neriv. If creature you control that entered this turn would deal damage, you just twice how much damage instead. So you want to it's Mardu hasty stuff essentially. But it's either hasty or does damage on ETB. So like,
I was thinking that. I was thinking both actually.
So like when this creature enters, it deals X damage to something. Oh my gosh! If you could somehow find a way to like cheat out, I mean, we couldn't do that in this deck because it's way too expensive. But like, Terror of the Peaks like jumps in this turn, and then you mobilize into a bunch of tokens, and then turn them all into like 2/2 damage instead of 2 damage instead of 1 damage or something. Yeah. So Neriv is mobilize synergy for sure. Mobilize and then ETB damage.
But there's also what's that red white ball lightning thing? It's like a 7/2 as lifelink. It's from
Mardu Ninjas. Are there enough ninjas?
I'm so old. I'm just like describing cards. I'm like, no, it's one of the new sets. You know, back when I was in college.
Are there enough ninjas in Mardu to make it make sense to do ninjutsu with Neriv?
Black is primary for ninjutsu, but red only has a couple. And I don't think white does either. But white has like blink
I mean black.
So if we're doing ETB, white would actually be blinking. Ooh, what if we did blink?
I mean, mono black has ninjutsu. Has a decent bit of ninjutsu, not a ton.
If we played a bunch of creatures that dealt like 1 or 2 damage to an opponent when they ETB, and then you play Ghost Away and just like kill them with like creature coming into play dealing 2 damage, but just like find ways to boost that, but also so like you'll have impact tremors dealing damage.
Impact tremors you'll have impact tremors dealing damage, but impact tremors doesn't do anything with Neriv. It doesn't synergize with Neriv at all.
Yeah, but you'll hit the impact tremors again when you Ghost Away is what I'm saying. You play it blink. It's just ETB blink. You don't even worry about like having haste creatures.
Yeah, Archangel Alchemist is right.
You don't even worry about attacking is bullshit. I don't want to attack. I want to play a $50 combo deck where I just like slap a bunch of creatures down and then I hit them with a Ghost Away, or I do Seance Junk. I want to do Seance Junk. Let's do a white blink deck where we kill them by having like flame tongue Kevu bullshit. I want to do that.
Yeah. So
Does that sound fun to anybody else, or am I just crazy?
yeah.
Myriad,
So yeah,
Blitz,
yeah. Flame
Dash,
tongue,
and
like
Encore,
when
yeah.
this creature enters, it deals X damage to whatever. What
Yeah, but
if?
it's like
What
even
if?
if it's like deals 1 damage to your opponent,
Yeah.
you just play a bunch of that because it deals
Right.
2 damage.
Are
So
there?
even I'm saying you're gonna find a 10-cent card that is nuts in this because it's like when it enters deals 1 damage to each player or something like that, and then like we just blink it. Like I think that an actual interesting thing to do is not worry about combat at all. Don't do the obvious stuff where we blitz and stuff like that. Like as cool as it would be to hit him with like a lightning skelemental, I want to do an ETB thing.
Yeah,
So
no,
we don't have to play fair magic.
I'm on board with you there. Oh, you can finally justify playing Duke Gold or Raven Guard in the deck.
Yeah, so Warstorm Surge stuff, exactly what I'm saying. Pandemonium. Like, and then if we get a 2-3 creatures in play, we just blink them. Because white does that.
Yeah, white does.
But like it's not just blink because you can have like Restoration Angel BS, but also you could have like what's that card called? The one that brings a dead creature back, the 2/2 Angel. Karmic Guide, that kind of BS also.
Oh. Yeah, I mean basically you just want to all you want to do is you want to blink as much stuff that has a damage on ETB effect and just blink it as much as you can basically.
Sure, but you won't even have to do it that much because you're dealing because it's not just like your commander doubling the damage, but like if you have anything else, cheap stuff like Furnace of Wrath type effects, those are pretty cheap because they get printed to death because casual players love that kind of stuff. But if you have 2 or 3 things that double damage, a creature coming into play deals 1, then it doubles, then it doubles, then it doubles. You're dealing 8 damage to everybody with like Spark Touch Mage or some shit, is what I'm saying.
Oh, sure.
So like our commander is a damage doubler.
Well, especially if you're
specific type of damage that is affordable money wise because it's 1 damage in a 20 life format is not that big a deal. So 1 damage in a 40 life format when you have 3 opponents instead of 1 is an even less big deal. So those cards have to be broken. And I think by having a damage doubler in our command zone means that we have to play fewer damage doublers to turn 1 or 2 damage into enough to like take big chunks out of people's life total.
I'm trying to see if there's like any if there's any like enrage synergy here, or like screaming. No, screaming.
But think of stuff like Eartha Joe,
Boros. So like Boros Reckoner, because like
Eartha Joe doubles the damage too. So anything that doubles, we're just doing really difficult to interact with stuff. Instead of attacking them, we don't need to build up a big board state of creatures either. Because our enchantments and our utility creatures are going to do all the damage magnification for us. We just need creatures that do really simple ETB stuff.
So Gratuitous D says Karmic Guide plus Blink Cat. I'm pretty sure the Blink Cat you're talking about, 1 is in blue and 2 is also like $30. What the hell is the name of that thing?
Are you talking duplication?
No. There's a cat that every time you cast a spell, you blink something.
Yeah, duplicate.
No. Nope. Displacer Kitten. That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, Displacer Kitten's a $15 card, and it's also in blue. So, can't play that unfortunately. If we're playing Neriv,
White has
lots of blink. Yeah, white has lots of blink. I'm
not just white has lots of blink. White has a lot of 75-cent cards that blink your entire board, not just one thing.
Yeah, I'm good with going on Neriv Heart of the Storm with kind of a blink theme. I'm good with that. Oh, Feller, our Guardian as the Blink Cat. Okay, gotcha. I'm good with doing this.
See, Luke, you're just not Luke Levi. You're just another person that underestimated Belladar Guardian. Wizards R&D didn't see it either. So
yeah. All right. So that is going to be the deck for this week. Neriv Heart of the Storm. Let me update the
number of viewers updated, and it went down when we announced we were doing Neriv.
Let's see.
I like when stuff lines up like that coincidentally. It's like everyone's a critic. It doesn't update in real time, is what I'm saying. I'm not saying that's why it happened. I'm saying it's funny that those things coincided. But I have no idea if the audience thinks that's funny because my co-host isn't reacting. So
What do you mean I'm not reacting?
you're not reacting.
Reacting to what?
My bad. I'm doing shtick. How about I'm drowning over here? How
Yeah.
We need a third person just so I have somebody to talk to.
Somebody that will
Chat,
acknowledge
how's it going?
somebody that
Interact
will
with us,
acknowledge
chat.
somebody that will acknowledge your sense of humor. Okay, so
Don't acknowledge my sense of humor. That doesn't mean anything. It's like
so
you
Neriv,
know Jason, he has a sense of humor.
I know.
If there's humor, he'll sense it.
I do want to play Duke Older Raven Guard though. I've never had a good reason to play it, but now I do.
What is that card? You've said that name
Duke
twice.
Older
but
Raven Guard.
Nobody knows what that card is.
Lots of people do if you played Baldur's Gate. 4 red and a white for 5/5 at the beginning of combat on your turn. Another target creature you control gains haste and myriad until end of turn. It's great.
I mean, incidental myriad, fine. Oh, get your Blade of Selves while you still can. Why don't you click on Blade of Selves and see if they're sold out everywhere because of what's his name? Deadpool.
Oh,
If you can still get a cheap Blade of Selves, you should.
$3.
If they're under 5. Are they like
Let's throw it in.
stock at that price?
Yeah.
Cool.
They're on pre-sale at that price.
It's in
it's
the-
in Dragonstorm. Yeah.
Oh, never mind then. Don't buy them. It just got reprinted. Shit.
Yeah, I was
All
gonna
right.
say, yeah, it's gonna go down.
Well, that's good.
Right.
Because the Master Multiplied.
Oh, it's in the
bonkers.
Mardu precon. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Uh,
the Master Multiplied is not, which is why that's like $30.
okay, so let's go grab Felidar Guardian.
Can we run the Master Multiplied in this deck?
I don't
Just
know.
put it in there. Just
Felidar Guardian
put a $30 card
is
in the deck to apologize for not doing a giveaway last week.
$2.50. It's a lot for that.
Well, that's only in there for Karmic Guide shenanigans. Do we need that
But
yet?
we can do Warstorm Surge. That's really what we want here.
Well,
We'll
let's
do
put Felidar Guardian
we'll
in the
do
deck anyway, because you bleed
Impact
Felidar Guardian, you
Tremors.
get multiple triggers. That's cool stuff.
Pandemonium. We could play Pandemonium.
Pandemonium, yeah. Pandemonium is bad enough that nobody ever plays it because it triggers on your opponent's creatures too. But could I suggest to you perhaps that Pandemonium triggering on your opponent's creatures is good because they don't always have to deal the damage to you?
Yeah, I'm good with Pandemonium. I think that's fun.
See, people are afraid to do things that are a little too symmetrical in EDH, but if we are in a slap contest and we slap each other back and forth and I can take 7 turns in a row, I don't care how hard you can slap. I'm just going to take 7 turns in a row, right? So like you can do the same fair thing they're doing, just do it better. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So let's Pandemonium because we will be Pandemonium Mo.
So we want to look at that. Was it Flame Tongue Kavu and other things in that neighborhood?
Yeah, but Flame Tongue Kabu hits creatures. I want to hit players.
Yeah, we'll just look at similar cards. So you've got. Let's see.
But I'm telling you, you're gonna need Scryfall for this because similar cards is gonna give us like playable stuff.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna play like.
Do we
Spark,
want
Touch Mage or
to
whatever.
do we want to put in stuff like Ravenous Chupacabra where it enters and smokes somebody's creature?
I would prefer.
I mean, those are great. Those are really good blink targets.
They're good blink targets. That's fine. Let's put them in. Let's cut them last.
Yeah, yeah. Because you have like that and then Shriekmaw and stuff like that.
But if we can find a way that like we're having creatures enter that are dealing so much damage that it's essentially smoking a creature.
Right.
But the Shriekmaw too. That's a good card.
But
But I was thinking something like Fire Imp, but like that dealt to players. Even if it's like a 3-mana 2/2.
well,
it doesn't matter as long as it deals 2
Viashino
damage to
Pyromancer
players.
deals 2 damage to target player or planeswalker. Yeah. Let's look
Yeah,
at
that's
Viashino.
target, but still, like if you're doubling that,
That's
doubling
fine.
it again,
Yeah,
that's
that's-
8
that's
damage to one person. That's a lot.
Yeah, so Sparkmage Apprentice enters, deals 1 damage to target your player. How about what else we got?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Spark Mage Apprentice. It's 2 mana. So if you're like, you don't have to put a bunch of creatures in play. You just have 1 or 2 enchantments in play, and then you play 2 or 3 of those creatures in a turn and a blink spell. So being able to play a 2-mana creature, a 2-mana creature, and a Ghostway is important.
Oh yeah, this is where you get like Inferno Titan and stuff like this in here.
But that's what I'm saying. Like Inferno Titan's good, but like you want the Spark Mage Apprentice type stuff.
Oh yeah, you want
more
both. You
for
want
the turns
both.
Where you want to
Yeah, you
dump
want
your hand and get a bunch of different triggers.
you want both.
Yeah. Inferno Titan is Flage too. I think.
Flage is
Isn't
probably
Flage
too
like
expensive.
50
I say
bucks,
probably
though?
Flage might be too expensive. Burning Sun's Avatar though, that's a solid one. Flage might be too expensive because that's a big modern card.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's $16. Yeah, honestly, great idea. Not gonna work for budget.
I don't think we should avoid saying the names of Magic cards if they're worth money, and I'm not afraid to say it.
Okay.
Flage is not a bad suggestion.
No, it is an objectively good suggestion. Just not
really
not gonna work for this. Yeah.
I know. We're just messing.
Yeah,
with you
Bogart
guys.
and Hellkite is 8 mana, but it does 5 damage, and you can do it however you want.
But listen, if you're doubling the damage, it doesn't deal 10. It deals 1 doubled.
Yeah, you're dealing
another one.
You're dealing
doubled
2 damage.
To a person.
Yeah, you're dealing 5 instances of 2 damages.
Of damage
5 instances of 2 damage. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I think this idea is cool because
Demanding Dragon is yucky. When it enters the battlefield, it deals 5 damage to target opponent unless they sacrifice a creature. So it's either
that blinking, but if they're like, okay, fine, but if you keep blinking it and they got to keep making that decision,
they either have to take 10 damage or sack a creature, which is a terrible decision to have to make.
Blinking Demanding Dragon is just like playing. Oh man, what is that? Plague of Locusts or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Red Dragon, Thundermaw, Hellkite. Let's see, Crater Halion. Yeah, there you go. That deals 4 damage to each other creature, and we don't want to do that.
If you want to build the deck, the Flage, telling people how to upgrade this deck would be good. Maybe we should do that one of these weeks. We'll go back to a deck we built for $50, upgrade it to 100, and give it away.
There you go. Yeah, if you're going from 50 to $100, Flage is like the first thing you put in.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need more.
This deck could be fun because we do not need to play $16 good cards. I would like to play very terrible cards like. Bogart and Hellcat isn't terrible.
Here we go. Fanatic of Mogus. Enters the battlefield, deals damage equal to your devotion, or it does damage equal to your devotion to red. And actually, we should put Gary in here too.
To each opponent. Gary, same thing. Gary says loss of life, right?
Gary loses life, but it's still.
No, it won't. Our commander won't.
But Gary is still like an objectively good thing to blink.
Gary?
Yeah, you're gonna not
blink deck.
You're not gonna blink Gary.
You can play Gary in your blink deck. But like he himself, the way he's printed, even if he's your only black card when he resolves, he's no worse than a Highway Robber. And I'm considering putting Highway Robber in this deck. So like, Gary's obviously fine.
Let's see what other ETB type stuff.
Stormwrath.
How about Calamity? So Calamity, and when it enters it has haste. When it enters the battle, when it attacks while saddled, you choose a non-legendary creature that's saddled at this turn. Create a tap and attacking token that's a copy of it. Sacrifice it. Repeat this process once. So you saddle this thing with that dragon that does 5 damage on ETB. You swing with Calamity. You get the dragon. You get the dragon twice.
Yeah,
that's
dumb.
What
I'm talking about.
That's
and also
dumb.
anything Flame Shadow Conjuring is nuts in this deck too. Because even if it's a Spark Touch Mage that deals 1 damage when it comes in, Flame Shadow Conjuring makes another copy of it. Those both deal 2. And then if you have like something that doubles damage, so like, yeah, I don't just want to think about ways to do the thing. I want to think about things that have multiple instances of damage and ways to do that. So like, this is a nice thought exercise. I'm having fun building this deck. Let's see. And if you're upgrading it, Zozu the Punisher is very punishing.
Check Norin's page. Norin Swift Survivalist.
My mic sounds low. Thanks. Hey, you want to turn me up in my mic?
I can do that. Yeah. All right. Give me a test.
A test? I'm going to talk at varying volumes now. Would that be helpful? Or
wait, hold on. Actually, hold on. I turned up the wrong volume. How about now? Give me a test.
A professional show would conduct their sound test off the air, but not us. We do things by the seat of our pants. We'll be giving away 2 decks.
It sounds fine in my
0.
It sounds fine in my monitors, but if it doesn't sound fine pooping out the other side into the internet, then it does. Not much I can do about that. Much better. All right, excellent.
Hey, that's the kind of feedback we like. Here's an example of bad feedback. You're doing something wrong. Here's an example of good feedback. You fixed it.
This stream sucks.
And I helped.
We
You
should
did
put
help.
Muruganda Raceway into this because we're gonna do lots and lots of damage
We are
on
gonna
lots
go
of dots,
feast.
and we're gonna get lots and lots of turns. Should we look at maybe is there any max speed stuff that we can put in this?
Muruganda Raceway is going to give you 2 mana faster than Temple of the False God in most decks, and it
Yeah.
also taps for 1 while you wait.
Yeah,
What a magic card!
it's a great card. I love it.
It's so good.
But it's not busted. It's just fun.
It's just fun. And
It's
the
just
gold
a
one,
good card.
it's not selling at the LGS, and like if it's still there next time I go in there, I'm taking it. That's mine. That would be my gold card.
Agate Instigator is an $8 card that we should really think about double, triple, quadruple pack carding into this deck.
What is?
Because it's a
Agate Instigator?
Yeah. So it is 1 in a red with Offspring for 1 in a red.
No, it's boring.
Is it? Whenever another
It's
creature.
no, it's boring because it's very good in other decks. I don't want cards that are good in other decks.
Well,
I
and
want
it's
Fanatic
actually
Amogus.
not as good in this deck as it could be because it'll sit on the battlefield and then you lose the bonus.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's not
Find
as
me
good
a
as it could
stupider
be.
card. See, I was asked what my opinion on proxying is, and you can always find a cheaper card that's stupider in that specific deck, right?
Mm-hmm.
A card is expensive because it's good in all of the decks.
How about Flame Shadow?
If you can't
Conjuring,
afford a card that's good in all of the decks, then include a card that's good in just your deck. Flame Shadow Conjuring is busted in this deck because it's another way to double damage.
This is also a Mimic Vat deck. It just is.
Oh my god, it's a Mimic Vet deck, but also maybe Molten Echoes? No, that's $9. Jeez. When did that happen?
Exocrine? What the fuck is this?
And Heat Shimmer went up again, I think. It wasn't
Warhammer. Okay, so we got X2 in a red, Ravenous. When Exocrine enters the battlefield, it's X damage to each player and each other creature. So not good to blink. Good the first time, bad to blink because when you blink it, it's not going to come back. Because when it comes back, the X is going to be 0. So kind of a non-bow in this deck. It's not necessarily a non-bow because you are going to get double damage the first time you play it, but every time after that, you're not going to get any damage out of it. So, is this an Assault Suit deck? I don't think it is. There's not really any. We're not trying to swing Neriv.
For once, it's not an Assault Suit
For once,
deck,
it's not
and,
an Assault Suit deck.
That's too bad.
It is.
But
Zagreus
we built an
Thief of
Assault Suit deck
Heartbeats.
last week, and we're going to give away at least 1 copy of it. So, Zagreus Thief of Heartbeats was suggested, and I couldn't find it because I was typing in Zagreus Thief of Heartbeats.
So other creatures you control have Death Touch, which is really great because then if like that one where it spreads damage around, you can just bang, 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 and just smoke a whole bunch of creatures on the board. Or it has Planeswalker Death Touch basically. So that's pretty solid.
Plus, it seems fairly likely we'll probably have a wizard or something in play. So there's a chance this gets played discounted also.
Yeah, or a warrior, something like that. We'll have stuff to discount it. I like that.
Like it.
I'm trying to think.
I like it a lot.
Should we look for hasty stuff too, or just blinky stuff?
I don't think we need hasty stuff. I really just want to be a blink deck.
Semester's End. Exile any number of target creatures and/or planeswalkers you control at the beginning of the next end step. Return each of them to the battlefield under its owner's control. Each of them enters the battlefield with an additional 1/1 counter on it if it's a creature and an additional loyalty counter on it if it's a planeswalker. That seems pretty damn perfect for our deck for 40 cents. So let's look at.
Sounds bucking fusted. That is a really good suggestion.
Yeah. So we can obviously put Cloud Shift in here.
Eerie Interlude, Ghostway, Ephemerate.
Yeah.
Incredible Journey.
Ghostway's the one. Ghostway is $3, so we probably will not.
Incredible Journey. No, it's otherworldly.
Ghostway is $3.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okie dokie. Let's see. Ogre Battle Driver.
Oh, Eerie Interlude's more than Ghostway? Wild. It's got
a lot more.
Reprints.
Eerie Interlude is not. It's not
my
in budget. It's not budget
a lot.
Yeah, it's
all
not,
right. Well,
it's not
fine.
budget,
Let's get in. Oh, you know what is a budget Eerie Interlude? No Rest for the Wicked. Look that up.
No Rest for the Wicked. Oh, okay. That's interesting. Yeah, I'm into that. Lae'zel's Acrobatics.
Oh, it says return to your hand all creatures are put. Oh, that's still fine because like
Yeah,
all the cheap stuff you just recast it.
so Lae'zel's Acrobatics. Exile all non-token creatures you control, then roll a d20. Either for 1 through 9, you return those to the battlefield under their owner's control at the beginning of the next end step, or 10 through 20, return those cards to the battlefield under their owner's control, then exile them again. That's nuts.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Like, this doesn't seem
And the amazing
one or
thing,
2 damage to each opponent when it ETBs doesn't seem busted, but like,
and the amazing thing is when that
we're
happens,
doubling it 3 times before it even hits our commander.
and the wild thing is that that thing has to resolve all the way through, which means that they're gonna bounce, all the shit's gonna go on the stack, and then they're gonna be gone again. So like they can ETB, and there's nothing that they can do to get rid of that because they're already back in exile. Is teleportation circuit budge enough? I don't know if that is going to be budget enough.
It's $12.
Yeah. Erratic portal. Return target creature to owner's hand unless its controller pays 1. That's kind of
okay.
That's honestly a pretty funny card.
Do we have a number, like a budget number to suggest? If a card is more than $4, we have to pet card it.
So okay, so generally speaking, if it's under $2, it can almost always just go right into the deck. If it's between 2 and 4, we give it some consideration based on how good it's going to be. If it's over 4, it's got to be pet carded into the deck and just say like, we just got to have this card, or I really, really want this card because it's super fun and I just love this card, or whatever. So those are the rules, but generally speaking, $2 and under is kind of the number we shoot for.
It's gotten kind of to where we never have pet cards because we just find a good 25-cent card that does it. So now we're like, we got a double pet card. So we're like, we're being so good. It's like, I was so good on my diet, I ate a whole chocolate cake on Sunday. So we're like, why should we jam a $9 card in our budget deck? It's very confusing to people that see the list. I get it. Shared Fate. That's wild.
Shared Fate.
That's a blue card.
It is.
That's a funny way to play Magic. Erratic Portal. Yeah, but like, the Erratic Portal's too small. I don't want to bounce one creature. That's too fair.
Dagger caster enters the battlefield, deals 1 damage to each opponent, and one damage to each opponent your creature's control. Or each creature your opponent's control. That's kind of wild. Love that.
Oh, you're just thinking off your head, not checking price. Okay, that's cool.
Goblin Chain Whirler does exactly the same thing. Love that. Let's see what else we got.
Chain Whirler's been printed enough times that it's...
Yeah. What else we got?
But anything that
Gruesome Scourger. Oh my god.
This isn't
Gruesome Scourger is currently in all caps in the chat. God, I can't talk today.
What did
all
you
chaps.
say?
It's all chaps.
You said Gruesome Scourger.
Gruesome Scourger. There's that call. That's a callback for that's a lore callback to the early whatnot days. When it enters the battlefield, it deals damage to target opponent or planeswalker equal to the number of creatures you control. I'm good with that. Let's just put Massacre Worm in this blink deck.
Gruesome Scourger. I don't know if Gruesome Scourger needs to be in all caps. Like, that's a okay suggestion.
Yeah, I feel like it didn't need to be in all chaps.
No, I'm not saying that the all chaps was rude. I'm saying the all chaps oversold. Remember you said it was going to be a great show. We're going to give away a great deck. And I was like, no.
The all chaps Gruesome Scourger is.
Let's never put all chaps in our head. Let's always lowercase.
I mean, like if it's in all caps, it better be like an S tier. Like, holy shit, I can't believe we found this card, type of thing. Because
inevitably, when we make these decks, there's a 25-cent card from 1998 that's like, whenever you do the thing you're trying to do, the other two things you're trying to do get easier. And you're like,
Null Spine Dragon actually should be in all caps. Null Spine Dragon is, when it comes into play, you may discard your hand and draw cards equal to the damage dealt to target opponent this turn. That's yucky.
What?
So you would, like, if you've dealt 10 damage to somebody that turn, you discard your hand and draw 10 cards.
And?
What do you mean and?
What do you mean and? We're trying to kill
What
them,
do you mean
cards.
And?
Hey, you know
what do you mean?
combo decks love to do? It's like, oh, that's enough trying to kill you. I think I'll just spend 7 mana to draw 10 cards and pass the turn. Pew pew, I'm combo dead.
No, I'm spending like 2 mana to bounce it and then draw 10 cards. Are you kidding?
Well,
How
you didn't
I
tell
don't
me you were being a pervert about it. All right, fine.
Like,
okay.
This is the drawing cards version of Neheb.
So if the plan is to get your 7 mana dragon in play and then Ghostwave,
Yeah.
fine. Like
Gratuitous
any
D's
7 mana dragon is good.
Yeah, Gratuitous D's like, card draw is good, believe it or not. Yeah.
So is winning.
Yeah,
You
card
guys
draw.
gotta reel the mystery box.
The
could be
correlation
anything, could be even a
between
boat.
the correlation between number of cards drawn and winning is a fucking just a nice 45-degree angle. Like the more cards you draw, the more you win.
At the end of your best possible turn, you're trying to kill them. I'm just saying.
It's a great card.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It's a card that draws you a lot of cards if you already had a good turn. If your hand's shitty and you can't do anything, you're not going to draw any cards with it.
You play this
Then you got a big dumb 7 mana dragon.
You have a big dumb 7 mana dragon that you just top deck with no hand, and now you have a full hand. And then you blink it, and now you have
how
more.
What do
you mean how? What do you mean how?
It's a win more.
No, it's
you
not.
guys see how it's a win more, right? It's a 7 mana win more.
How?
You have to have a good turn before it does anything.
You have to deal 4 damage for it to be worth it. Like, I mean, you don't have to deal hardly any damage. If you blink this and like one other creature, you got Stake Jones. No, damn it, Stake Jones, you're not helping.
He's helping me.
I know. That's why I said he's not helping.
That's helping.
That's
He's
not helping.
me.
That's not helping. That's not how it works. Does it work if your opponents did the damage? So you may discard and draw equal to the damage dealt to target opponent this turn. You can blink it on someone else's turn if they just get hit by a big fat commander and draw cards for somebody else's damage.
Stupid Robe Goldberg machine to draw a couple extra cards works if my opponent helps me.
No, it's
Come on.
Pick any time that someone takes a decent bit of damage, blink him, get a whole new hand. It's insane to me that you think this isn't good. This is fucking crazy. I feel like I'm in a fever dream. How is this not a good card?
What are we trying to do?
What do you mean? What are you trying to? I'm trying to win a damn Magic game.
I'm trying to win a damn Magic game, not like win a little and then
Dr. Cyclad. Counterpoint,
mana.
a lot of what this deck does is small creatures. You need more cards to put shit on the board to blink more.
Any card you spend 7 mana on the one card is going to be good.
Yeah, this is really
the worst possible spend 7 mana, and it only does something if you already had a good turn.
It doesn't even need to be your turn. You can have a good turn. Somebody else can have a good turn. We're just gonna take advantage of it.
How are you gonna play a dragon on someone else's turn?
By blinking it in our blink deck.
Then why don't you just blink like a dragon that does damage?
You can do both.
You could. Why would I blink a dragon that does damage when I could blink a dragon that draws cards that could be a dragon that does damage? Just play the goddamn dragon that does damage. That's what I'm saying.
Because if you have no cards in your hand and you blink this thing, you can just get like a bunch of cards. This is dumb. I'm not even having this conversation anymore. You're trying to tell me that card draw is bad.
It can be like, wow, I can't
we've jumped the shark here, folks. Card draw is bad now.
But why don't you put Brain Geyser in the deck? You can draw 17 cards for 19 mana. Oh, I'm sorry, drawing 17 cards.
No, you can draw. You can draw a bunch of cards for like.
I'm sorry, I thought drawing 17 cards for 19 mana was good. Apparently, 17 cards.
You cloud shift this thing, and you're drawing a whole new hand for 1 mana. For
you
1 mana.
Shift a dragon that does 5 damage on ETB, and you can kill them.
No, you can't.
That's what I'm saying. Yes, that if you build the deck correctly, you can. If you don't include a bunch of bullshit dragons that don't do anything and add some more damage multipliers, you can kill them.
You can, but sometimes you just get stuck and you want to draw a million cards. I'm keeping it in the deck. I'm sorry. This is just, I'm done having this discussion. Card draw is good. I'm sorry. It just is. Okay.
Hey, how'd the game go? I killed my opponent. Oh, that sucks. You didn't even get to draw any cards.
I mean, both are good, but I mean, there's objectively a correlation between drawing more cards and winning more games.
This turn? Oh, that's a good point. If our deck is too good, then this card.
That's why everybody knows in CEDH you just keep your opening hand and that's it. No drawing cards.
Everyone knows in CEDH that if some guy said, "Hey, you shouldn't pay 7 mana to draw 4 cards," that guy's an asshole.
Well, you wouldn't pay 7 mana. You pay like 1.
You gotta pay 7 mana at some point.
Sure, absolutely, but then you can blink him.
You gotta pay 7 mana for it at some point. And if you pay 7 mana for it,
you're probably going to do it when you already had a good turn, and then you can continue to have more good turns after that.
How you have a good turn with 7 mana?
You probably already have a dragon on the board dealing damage because it's 7 mana.
Okay, put it in the deck. It's fine.
I'm putting it in the deck. I can't wait. I'm going to get this deck. I'm going to play
with.
I'm going to play you with it.
Back one of us up.
I'm going to play you with it, and I'm going to draw 100 cards off of this thing, and then you're going to die.
Yeah, because you live in Christmas land.
Sometimes. It's going to be amazing.
Hearing you describe the games you play with your friends, I was like, yeah, well, no wonder. You play Magic in fucking Narnia. So, like...
Gift says they agree with both of us, which means you're definitely wrong. Let's see. Florian Voldarian.
If somebody, whoever wins this is going to come on the gameplay stream and beat me with it, I'm just going to be...
Gipsy says, I love this card. I've been playing it for 10 plus years and it never draws a lot of cards. Well, this deck is also just designed to do tons of damage. So like,
no, it's not. It's designed to draw tons of cards.
One thing draws tons of cards. Oh, how'd it go?
I dealt him 50 damage.
We have a
draw if he did that.
We have a subscription from Maple Mesmer. So thank you.
Aw.
Not a follow, not a subscription. A follow, not a subscription. I should clarify. Yeah, Nullspine Dragon isn't a great card, but this is a budget deck. It will do good in the deck.
We appreciate the interaction, and we don't know the difference.
Okay, so Florian says at the beginning of your second main phase, look at the top X card of your library. X is the total amount of life your opponent's lost this turn. Exile one of those cards and put the rest in the bottom of your library. You may play that card this turn. Good card. This is going to be very similar to, the Red Highway Land. Is that Spine Rock Knoll? Yeah.
Florian is okay, listen. I will say Florian is a slam dunk if you take out the dumb 7 mana dragon. Because this will draw you more cards, and it'll do it on turn 3.
No, it draws you 1 card.
More times.
I mean, it'll draw you 1 card reliably, but...
Why would you play
a dragon can refill your hand
and only draw 3 cards for 1 mana when you can bring Geyser for 19? That's the argument you're making.
No, I'm saying you can refill your hand with the dragon.
You could refill your hand with Florian.
No, you can't. You objectively can't. It exiles 1 card. It exiles 1 card.
You get an effect from a card.
It's one card. You get 1 card out of that whole pile.
This is why every deck we make, I always feel like it costs 1 million mana because you're like, well,
this one currently,
sure, we could do.
Currently, this one does have this one does currently have a fairly steep mana curve, but we can bring it down.
Levi, would this fit on a business card? Levi thinks Lava X is better than Lightning Bolt, whatever your last name is.
It's not better than Lightning Bolt, though. Nobody thinks that.
I think that hearing you argue the point you're arguing, I was like, maybe Levi's right and Lava X is better than Lightning Bolt.
Heartpiercer Manicore is interesting. When it enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice another creature. When you do, it deals that much damage equal to that creature's power to any target. So you kind of get an ETB version of Brian's Stout Arm with Heartpiercer Manicore.
Wait, how does that work with our commander though?
What do you mean? It entered the battlefield this turn.
If a creature you control under this turn would deal damage.
No. When Heartpiercer enters, you can Stout Arm something. You can fling it, and then
but say Heartpiercer Manicore deals the damage.
Yes, Heartpiercer Manicore itself deals the damage. Yeah,
and so that's the thing that came into play. So it does double based on our commander.
Yeah. Sneak Attack isn't the worst idea. It's $4, but. I mean, or $5. It's good though.
But honestly, like if you're having a combo turn, paying 3 mana to sneak attack out 3 dragons that are going to deal enough damage to kill everybody. That's a dream. That's why
Unfortunately, I don't know that we
draw
can
a bunch of cards.
I don't know that we can. Well, guess what, bud? Guess where when you do sneak attack, you know where they got to come from?
Your hand.
That's exactly right.
Which is full because every dragon you
just blink that
costs 7 mana. It's going to sit in your hand the whole game.
So you're making my case for me. You're sneak attacking the dragon then.
Yes, your hand will never be empty because it'll be full of 7 mana dragons.
Correct, and then you can sneak attack them out.
You'll never be able to play Vexing Devil. Nah, I like where your head's at, Doctor.
Vexing Devil. I used to play Vexing Devil in a standard deck.
16 damage.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Go.
Yeah, it's great.
I feel bad. We made Larry spend bits because we wanted to make sure we saw Ironwheel Forger. How many times did he suggest Ironwheel Forger and we just like ignored him like we're bad parents? I'm really sorry.
I have no idea because I've been ignoring it. Ironwheel Forger, the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control your commander, target non-legendary creature you control gains Myriad until end of turn. That is fun. It's also $3.50. Perforos Bronze-Blooded is... Or no, I'm thinking the wrong Perforos.
Yeah, Larry, no, the bits are good, but like if you use bits to highlight your message, I won't read it unless it's in all caps. Sorry.
Perforos Bronze-Blooded is $2.50.
Perforos Bronze-Blooded is another sneak attack.
It is.
Or in the pile.
Yeah, it's $2.50 versus like $5.
I honestly love I don't want to play Fair Magic. Okay, and sneak attack is a good way to not play Fair Magic.
Yeah, sneak attack itself is a little too expensive, but Perforos is good.
Oh, you sacrifice those creatures at the beginning of the next end step? Because weren't we talking about
blinking
doing
them?
some Karmic Guide bullshit too?
We're blinking them, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, we're blinking, so it doesn't matter. So this deck is stupid. I'm really enjoying this. I think this is good. I say this every week, but I'm building this. I literally just got done.
Devilish Valet is such a fun suggesestion. So because it has haste, and when it all comes in, when they all come in, he'll just double his power a bunch of times. Honestly, Devilish Valet is such a fun card.
Oh my god, and then fling it.
Yeah, then you fling that bitch. No, it's all chaps, Larry. So the cheap Atali. I mean, sure. I mean, it's not an ETB effect, unfortunately.
Larry, only chaps for the highlighted message. The rules were very clear.
Yeah. I just had a card. Oh, what was it? What was I going to grab? The Karmic Guide. That's what I was going to.
Yeah.
Yeah, Karmic Guide. That's what I was going to grab. Trying to think what else
I like Karmic Guide in a Heart Piercer Mana Core deck.
Angel of Serenity is pretty good, except for you can't get it back unless you get rid of the Angel of Serenity.
Angel of Serenity is 7 mana. Can you stop with your 7 mana?
That is also a thing.
Listen,
that it is.
This is a combo deck.
Actually,
multiple things we can play.
Actually, Angel of Serenity with Myriad is really good in our Blink deck. Because you're going to make copies of the Serenity, and then the copies are going to sacrifice themselves, and then everything's going to come right back. That's pretty good. That's pretty good tech, honestly. If we weren't running such a high mana curve. Fuck. I'm putting it straight up. I'm putting it in. I'm like, actually, this might be a good Neheb.
No, but like it comes into play and deals like 5 damage with Warstorm Surge, right?
Yeah,
and
a
bunch of stuff, and that all comes back.
Big time. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so like at 7 mana, see, that's what I'm saying. Angel of Serenity ends the goddamn game for 7 mana.
Kind of can, yeah.
So like that's what a 7 mana thing should do.
Do we want something?
Like, all right, the game's over. Versus, ooh, look how many cards I can win the game with.
Given that we are running a fairly steep mana curve, do we want something like Neheb in there to just give us a load of red mana in our second main phase?
No, I want to lower our mana curve. I want to stop playing like really obvious cards.
I mean, we're not going to be able to load that much. Flame Cash Gecko. 1 red. When it enters, if an opponent lost life this turn, add black red. Well, that's actually pretty fun. So it's, yeah.
Oh, you said actually. It sounded like you said that's actually pretty fun, and I was like, I don't like what the Flame Cash Gecko does to the game of Magic, but like
the Angel brings back
about that art.
The Angel Serenity brings it back to your hand. Did I read that wrong? Oh yeah, the exile cards go back to their owner's hands. Actually, that's kind of bad. We don't want to do that.
You lied to me.
Yeah.
about what the card did. You made me look foolish on my stream. Well done. What actually does what you were hoping that did?
I feel like there's something that does do that though.
Well, there's
what's
like
that?
stuff like Stone Cloaker, right?
Well, there's
see what creature hitting the board doesn't matter if we're just like a
that returns into his hand. No, there's
what if
there's
you
a
had, like, a loop though.
So there's Flicker Wisp.
Flicker Wisp, like some sort of Flicker Wisp loop where
they
just triggered.
So there's.
What if we just tried to set up some sort of loop where like there's impact tremors killed them?
There's stuff like I'm thinking it's like it's like an O-ring on a creature. I'm trying to remember what the hell.
There's all kinds of Fiend Hunter and
stuff Fiend
like
Hunter
that,
is the one I was thinking of. That's the one I was thinking of where you could, if you gave it Myriad, that's pseudo blink.
And also if you blink it with the ability on the stack, it'll come back in and it won't bring the creature back. And if you did that same bullshit with Palace Jailer, you could get the Monarch. So like maybe that plus blink. I don't know, because that's only one creature. I kind of think that's thinking a little small. It's a little fair is why I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like I'm just trying to think if there's more stuff like that. Angel of Condemnation is kind of interesting.
Yeah, Legion Loyalty could be fun because, like, again, I don't want to play good creatures. I want to play shitty creatures with good enchantments. And you keep picking good creatures because why, Levi? Why do you always put too many creatures in the deck?
So Legion Loyalty is great, but it's 8 mana. So.
Levi, tell everybody why you always put too many creatures in the deck.
Oh, because I just go down to the right here
to a new page
because I get distracted right here. Yeah, that's exactly what happens.
That's everybody does.
Yeah,
and I didn't realize I did it until I saw you do it on camera.
Yeah,
so that's why I'm pointing it out.
That's exactly right.
Don't get creature. Use the things on the left to navigate. Don't scroll past creatures.
Yeah,
it's like at the grocery store. They want you to walk past all the high price crap before you get to the veggies. Just use the bar on the side so you don't go window shopping for a bunch of creatures you don't have room for. Yeah. We want bad creatures with good damage doublers. We don't want good creatures.
Yeah.
Right? We want Vexing Devil to
we only want bad cards.
Damage. No, we want fringe cards.
You're a fringe card.
Thank you. Draw me like one of your fringe cards.
Let's see here. Nahiri's Resolve. What is Nahiri's Resolve? 3 red and a white. Creatures you control get 1/0 and have haste. At the beginning of your end step, exile any number of non-token artifacts or creatures you control. Oh, it just blinks. Oh, yeah, that's great. Yep.
Gratuitous D. I understand why you would say gratuitous violence, but I'm going to tell you why I don't want to do gratuitous violence because that requires you to hit them with creatures, and I don't want to have to attack. I just want to. I want to cheat.
2 red. If a creature you control would deal damage to a permanent player, that doesn't. How does that?
Oh, hang on. No, I was
not
thinking
combat damage. It's just
that's a great suggestion.
It's just a damage doubler.
What was I think? The thing that gives your creatures double strike, Berserker's Onslaught, maybe.
Fuck if I know. I don't know. It's not that.
Gratuitous violence is a pretty good suggestion, and it's their username too, which is You know what? I'm going to be honest. When I saw your username, I was like, this person's just been waiting to say gratuitous violence.
Yeah. War Elemental. Red. Too expensive, but comes into play sacrifice unless the opponent was dealt damage this turn. Whenever damage is dealt to an opponent, put that many counters on War Elemental. Fun card. Way too expensive for what we're doing in this deck.
But what is having 1/1 counters on War Elemental do?
Not a lot.
It doesn't do anything. It just makes it a creature that we can attack them with. I don't care about
basically, yeah. It's not great for what we're trying to do here. Let's see here. Chandra's Incinerator's kind of neat. Whenever source you control would deals non-combat damage to an opponent, Chandra's Incinerator deals that much damage to target creature or planeswalker that player controls.
That doesn't do anything.
Why not?
I don't want to hit their creatures with damage. Because I don't care.
Oh, creature or planeswalker. Yeah. Okay.
I'm not going to pay 6 mana for something that just like.
Yeah. Let's see.
You get me. I just do a gesture and you're like, yeah.
That's how
that's a gesture.
That's how I know that I've done this for too long. Gisela, Blade of Gold Knight. I am a Gisela fan. Source would deal damage to an opponent or permanent opponent controls. That source deals double. That's good start. If a source would deal damage to you or a permanent, yeah, that's just good. Yeah.
So my goal for this is to have like one card like Gisela and like our commander out, ideally, just be able to play a bunch of 1 mana creatures that get the game ended.
Yeah.
Mirror March, yeah. Yeah, Mirror March for sure. But I kind of like
Oh yeah, Mirror March.
something like Flame Shadow Conjuring is cheaper mana wise.
It is. But
So, like,
I mean,
but
we've
Mirror
got
March
that.
is
We've got that in
kinda
the deck
busted.
too.
Yeah.
Lots of those types of effects are expensive though. Splinter Twin, Kiki Jiki, that kind of stuff. They're all expensive.
Well, the
they're
good ones are, but we
extremely
don't need good ones. Minion Reflector is not expensive.
Is Minion Reflector good?
Yeah. Once you look at it.
Whenever a non-token creature comes into play under your control, you may pay 2. If you do, put a token that's a copy of that creature into play, haste and sacrifice it. So I can pay 7 mana to make a copy of something.
And they could pick 9 mana to make 2 somethings and 11 mana to make 3 somethings. Yeah.
Yeah. Fine.
All right. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't love it.
Well, that's fine.
We'll throw it in.
We can cut it.
No, it's staying in.
Oh, you're not going to cut it later?
Nope.
Under any circumstances?
I might.
Good. I hope you
I
include it.
might cut it. I don't know, but I'm leaving it in for right now so that I can tear your heart out later.
I hope you're not sure how I feel about it, so you're not sure whether to
I'm
take
not
it
sure
out
how
to
you feel
troll me
about
or
most
leave it in to
things.
troll me.
Anathemander.
What are you going to do in that instance? You're going to rip it in half?
I've done that before. Actually, I didn't do that, but someone sitting next to me did that, and it was funny. When
That's my baby.
When Anathemander comes
baby.
into play, it deals damage to target player equal to the number of non-basic lands that player controls. Yes.
Did we put Anathemander in a deck like 2 weeks ago?
Nope.
You sure?
Yep.
I feel like we've put Anathemander in a deck recently, and it's what a magic card, and it does exactly what we want it to. Something weird.
Snapdax, Apex of the Hunt. 1 Mardu. 3/5 double strike. When this creature mutates, it deals 4 damage to target creature or planeswalker and opponent controls, and you gain 4 life.
But
it enters and does once, but you can't, like, when you blink it, it comes back as just the creature. So, like,
yeah,
you don't get them mutated again.
Yeah,
it is funny though. Combustible Gear Hulk.
But like, yeah, Snapdax doesn't work because of mutate, not because of Snapdax.
Right.
That's when a good suggestion's bad for another reason.
Combustible
I want
Gear
to be
Hulk
able to do
says
Snapdax
when it enters
stuff.
target opponent, target opponent may have you draw 3 cards. If they don't, you mill 3 cards. Then it deals damage to that player equal to the total mana value of those cards, and it would be double mana value. So you can either draw 3 cards, or they eat.
You're going to draw 3 cards.
Yeah, or they're going to eat a ton of damage. I think that's good. I'm in on that.
I think that's better than the 7 mana dragon.
I think they're both fine. Psychorax Commander, 2 black and red.
But I think what you're going to find with Combustible Gear Hulk, it's very much like Browbeat. It's going to be a card that never does what you want it to do.
Yeah. When Psychorax Commander enters battlefield, each opponent faces a villainous choice. That opponent discards all the cards in their hand, then draws them many cards -1, or they deal damage to that player equal to the number of cards in their hand.
I don't want them to face a villainous choice. I think we're kind of just talking about that. I don't want my opponents to face a choice. I want them to just take a bunch of damage and die. Right? But it's the only
they're drawing that many cards.
I like that it's 4 mana.
They're dumping their hand. They're either going to dump their hand and draw that many cards -1, which is never a good thing. And then, or they're going to take probably like 6 to 8 damage. Vexing Devil is literally a villainous choice. Yeah. Vexing Devil is very good. It's also 50 cents, and it's 1 mana. It's not 4 mana.
Yeah. Like Browbeat and Vexing Devil are on this card's page for a reason. But like Vexing Devil, I don't know.
Vexing Devil, I think, is good to blink though, because
I think they're just going to let you have a 4/3 for 4. Why did I think Vexing Devil worked like that? That's dumb.
Yeah, when this creature enters, any opponent may have it deal 4 damage. Oh yeah, they're not going to have it. They're not just going to like choose to have it deal 8 damage. That's dumb. Yeah, they're never going to take the damage. They're just going to have.
Yeah, I don't know.
They're going to.
I got to pay more attention.
Yeah.
I'm not reading the card.
For some reason, I was thinking Vexing Devil did something different, and I remember this card sucked a lot more to deal with in like 60 card formats.
I don't care about a 4/3 for 1 mana and EDH whatsoever.
No,
I will let you start with one in your command.
Literally
zone.
doesn't
matter.
matter.
Few fucks about a Vexing Devil. Yeah, another round. Did that make it in?
Igor App is a new follower.
You can blink it, and then you have they're like
4/3
4/3 again.
Woo!
Oh, Vexing Devil with Warstorm Surge.
Okay, so I'm gonna start the giveaway for the Marvo deck from last week.
You were gonna do that, weren't we?
Giveaway's going. Exclamation point Marvo is your entry to win the Marvo deck that we built last week, which is Dimir, and we're clashing, and we're doing all sorts of weird stuff with clashing in rooms and things like that. Wait, hold on. Oh, wait, hold on 1 second. Everybody, don't do any more for some reason. Is this thing bugging out again?
It looks like people are entering. I'm seeing.
We've got entries. No, we're good. We're good.
Right.
Yeah.
Thanks for the follow, Grizz.
Yeah. All right. We're
Marvelous.
good. We're good. For some reason, I thought it was bugging out again. All right. So, no, we're good. Everyone, so it's exclamation point Marvo to enter to win the Marvo deck. Okay. And it should be, it's on screen there if you missed it. We can use the word chaps next time. Yeah. Okay. So, Sycorax Commander, it's a good effect. I mean, it is. It's a good effect because you're going to make them dump their hand and take one less card, which is just really bad. But you're probably going to do that more often, I think, than them taking. Wow. The problem is, though, is like if someone has nothing in their hand, if someone's top decking, it does nothing. They don't care. Like, then it's the same. It's the exact same outcome for the person.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't like that.
Honestly, think a 3-mana 2/2 that deals 2 damage when it ETBs
is better
than all the stuff we're suggesting here.
Yeah, I don't disagree there.
We don't have enough damage doublers, and we have too many cutesy. This deals. I don't know, man.
Yeah,
I think we're building wrong. Because but also it's not like we're going to be able to put so many Furnaces of Wrath in play and have them sit there unmolested that we'll be able to cast any creature and win either. So
yeah, I mean,
I'm thinking we'll probably have our commander and one other damage doubler, so that's like that turns 1 damage into 2 into 4.
We've got Gisela, and that'll double damage. Angrath's Marauders, that's 7 mana. If a source you control would deal damage to a permanent player, it deals double that damage to the permanent player instead. But it's 7 mana, so that's tough.
I mean, Fiendish Duo is 1 million mana too. I don't know.
I mean, pretty much any cheap damage doubler is going to be expensive.
But like, we don't.
I mean, you could do something like
double the damage. We just double the triggers.
Right.
Our commander doubles the damage. We could find ways to double the triggers.
Yeah, I mean, you could do something like
cards and they're 25 cents.
You could do something
the same
like
boring Fire Emancipation bullshit everyone else is. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Torbrand is also a card that like it's good. But when it doesn't interact with damage doublers in the way most people want it to, because the opponent that's being damaged gets to choose.
No, this rewards us for splitting it up though, for dealing 5 instances of 1 damage with Bogart.
Right, but when you have Torbrand and the damage doubler, the opponent gets to choose how it gets ordered. So they're going to choose to double it and then add Torbrand on versus adding Torbrand on then doubling it. So, like Torbrand in damage in when it comes to damage multiplying effects, Torbrand doesn't do what you want him to do. It's still a good, like, it's 2 extra damage is still 2 extra damage, but it's not as good as you want it to be. Crusted Dust says, are you guys going to be at SCG Condal? Which SCG Con?
Denver? No.
I will be at SCG Con Minneapolis playing in the standard RC.
I'm not even going to Atlanta.
I don't think I won't be at any more Magic Cons this year. I will not be at
Vegas.
No, I will not be at Denver, but I will be at SCG Con Minneapolis May 2nd through the 4th. So I will be at all those. City of Fire.
We think Magmatic Hellkite would be funny because of the blink.
So City of Fire is good if we're playing tokens, but we're not playing tokens. So like it's good. It's just kind of I'm a big fan of City on Fire. But it's expensive. It's $5 for one, and we're not playing a lot of tokens to really cheapen it up. Magmatic Hellkite.
Magmatic Hellkite just blows up a non-basic land. Like it's good with blink, but it doesn't do any damage.
It doesn't do any damage. Yeah, it doesn't play nice
interact with our commander at all. Yeah.
We've got Devilish Valet in the what's Army of the Damned? Because we do have Devilish Valet in.
Oh, is that one where you put a bunch of...
Oh, it's a sorcerer to create 13 tapped 2/2 black zombie creatures. So then Devilish Valet...
The only thing is, like, they don't deal the damage when they ETB.
No, but you all of a sudden have
like the Warstorm Surge and stuff like that. But I would prefer the creatures dealt the damage, though.
Well, because what you have is...
Because Army of the Damned doesn't interact with anything except, like, the Warstorm Surge type stuff.
It would immediately make your Devilish Valet's power 8,192 with trample. So
did you just do that on your calculator?
It's 2 to the 13th power. So yes.
Oh, you have 2 to the 13th power memorized because you're normal.
It's yeah. So you're so Devilish Valet would become a trampler with 8,000 power, which is funny. Yeah, then if you flash it back, then then if you flash it back, you get 16 million or 67 million. That's exactly right.
Yeah, see, Gibbering Fiend is the kind of card I'm talking about.
With Stormcaller. Stormcaller deals damage to each opponent. Yeah, great. Okay, what's the other one? Gibbering Fiend?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sure. I'm good with that. Voldaren Epicure does that and makes blood tokens.
So I think just giving our creatures Death Touch and Lifelink at this point is what we want.
Yeah. Urbrass Forge is good. It is definitely a good card. Not really blink friendly. It is Warstorm Surge friendly though.
I mean, Fiery Emancipation, maybe we do jam it in the deck. I don't know. It kind of ends a game of Magic the Gathering.
It does. So if anybody else wants to win this Marvo deck, I'm gonna pull the winner here in a little bit. That is, let me pull up the Marvo deck from last week and just show people real quick.
Yeah, we should go through it. In case
so Marvo Deep Operative is a Dimir deck. It is so whenever he attacks, you clash with the defending player. And then whenever you win a clash, draw a card, then you cast a spell from your hand with mana value 8 or less without paying its mana cost. So this is lots of high mana stuff that is going to win clashes. So whenever Marvo swings, he's going to we put it in here to basically almost always win the clash no matter what. And then we've also got some top deck manipulation stuff. We're running lots of rooms because rooms and dual-sided cards have the mana value of the card is the combined cost of both sides. So we're running some of those. We're running a lot of expensive things that we can also just cast for free with Marvo. It's a really, really fun deck. It's got some, a couple things to shuffle graveyards back in the library, but mostly you're going to try to win the clash, and then if you want the card, put it in your hand, and then maybe cast it for free. It's a good time. So yeah, there's Marvo. If you want to win Marvo, it's !Marvo. You can win that deck. And I'm going to pull the winner in about a little over a minute. Because it'll be about 10 minutes there. So yeah, 1 minute and 10 seconds. I'm going to pull that card. I'm going to pull that winner for that deck. Let's see here. If you knew you were going to pop off one turn, Overblaze is a fun thing. But I mean, we don't need a lot of damage doublers. I mean, especially if you have like Giselle on the field, you're quadrupling all of the damage that gets dealt. So I mean, I've seen Basalt Ravager mentioned a number of times. So Basalt Ravager is 3 in a red, enters the battlefield, does X damage to any target where X is the greatest number of creatures you control that have a creature type in common. I mean, you're probably going to have dragon. I mean, dragon is probably going to be your main one. You'll have a couple. That's fine. I mean, like the floor. We've got a decent chunk of dragons in here. Some elementals.
Do we have red dragon?
I don't know if we have just plain old red dragon. I don't.
Well, that's 8 to each opponent when our commander's out.
Oh yeah, let's do red dragon then. Red dragon. I would guess red. I would guess dragon is the creature type that we would want to do Basalt Ravager for. So I'm fine with throwing it in. Layla's going all chaps. Another round. Another round. Okay, we got XX2 and a white for a sorcery. Exile any number of creatures you control, then return to the battlefield under their zone of process, then repeat this process X more times. That's how you win a game of Magic the Gathering.
But another round's already in the deck.
It isn't. Well, now it is.
I told you to add it.
I didn't listen to you.
Should I set it in all chaps?
Yeah, you should have said it in all chaps.
You ignore me unless I type in all chaps?
Yeah.
That's how I feel at home.
We like all
actually.
chaps. Sudden disappearance. Exile all non-land permanents target player controls. Return the exile cards to the battlefield at the next end step. Let's see.
That's why we need a good mix of cheap creatures and expensive ones. And Cosmic Intervention too, right?
Cosmic Intervention's really good. It's $5. So that's tough.
Yeah.
Because we are in 3 colors too, so we're gonna need. We're at 54 cards right now with no lands, so we're gonna need to get into one. We should go to
the page.
The page, yeah. We're at the spot of going to Neriv's page, and just so for anybody that's new to the stream, what we do is typically like once we got the deck mostly built, we go back to the commander's page just to see if there's anything that we missed that's like dead obvious that we just didn't catch it. I am going to throw the budget filter on. Okie doke. And because we mainly want, we're going to stay in the blink. Jolly Balloon Man. We're going to stay in the blink archetype with the budget filter on. Sunspine Lynx is pretty fun. Let's see. When Fear of Burning Alive enters, it deals 4 damage to each opponent. Whenever source you control deals non-combat damage to an opponent, if there are 4 more card types among cards in your graveyard, Fear of Burning Alive deals that much damage. Okay, that's fantastic. So
I don't think Jolly Balloon Man was a joke. I think that's a legit suggestion. Because you can also copy.
Let's look at Jolly Balloon Man. The Jolly Balloon Man.
Other stuff, yeah.
Oh yeah, just make a token copy. I'm good with that.
Well, it's not just the ETB creature. You could also copy a damage doubler.
Right.
Pinch too.
Yep. All right. We've already got enough creatures. Let's not look at too much more of those. Do we miss any blink spells? Slip on the Ring, Flicker of Fate, Justicier's Portal.
I don't want to forget any mass ones. If we don't have all the individual like 1 mana blanket creature ones, that's fine.
Right.
But like anything.
Let's grab that MDFC. Let's see. Sorceries. Let's. Nothing really there. Let's see. Far Traveler. Oh, here we go. Far Traveler. Commander creatures you own have at the beginning of your end step. Exile up to 1 target tap creature you control, then return to the battlefield under its owner's control. Now, we're not really tapping creatures, though. That's, yeah. Not as good. Yeah, Teleportation Circle's way too expensive.
Second Sunrise and Faith's Reward. I don't know. Stuff doesn't really stay in the graveyard.
I just want to go into the blink archetype. Oh, not that. I want to go into the blink type. The tag, and then go to 3 color. Let's go to Mardu Blink and just see what else we've got going on here as far as mass blink. Oh, let's see. Another round is in the deck.
Yeah, Ortheon's pretty expensive, but like
Sunspine Lynx is good.
And also Ortheon isn't that much better than Feldon too.
Yeah.
Like maybe we do run Feldon just because we got expensive dragons in the graveyard.
Yeah. Rise of the Dark Realms would be funny. I think we've got pretty much all the mass blink stuff.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. Okay, so let's grab some mana fixing.
In red, white.
Where am I at here? Okay, yeah. So let's go to enchantment. No, we want artifacts. I know everybody hates it, but Chromatic Lantern is good for these types of things. But we'll do an Arcane Signet. Let's grab a couple dual lands.
Chromatic Lantern was back when people were paying 3 mana for rocks.
Yeah.
It's been a while since people had to pay 3 mana for a rock anymore. That wasn't something like Cursed Mirror, but it should probably go on the deck if it's not too expensive.
It's $2.50, which is a little bit more than I want to pay for it.
Yeah, that sucks. It's too bad. It's got so many printings.
Yeah. We'll throw Pain Lands in.
Vault of the Archangel doesn't work. There's no way to get Vault of the Archangel or to give Death Touch and Lifelink to a creature that's TT being like. How would that work?
Vault of the Archangel.
Yeah, because we want to.
So you'd have to. So what you would
when they ETB?
So you would ETB, then while they're on the stack, you tap it down to give everything Death Touch and Lifelink, and then you resolve everything on the stack.
Yeah, that's rough.
4 mana to do that's kind of tough. Hey, 3/3 elk rated. Thank you.
33 elk is here.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right. So for anybody that's just joining in, we are making a deck for Neriv, Heart of the Storm, and we did this is a budget deck, obviously, so it's $50 and under, and we did a blink thing. We did a blink strategy, and we are currently in the process of kind of grabbing a few more cards before we throw this thing in Architect and kind of suss out what's all the mana curve and what's all going on, and making sure that we're going to end up having to cut cards. So Enduring Courage is kind of fun. That would be a fun way to do the hasty thing.
Why did you said all that shit and all you needed to say was, hey, you're in time for the giveaway.
You are in time for the giveaway. Okay, the winner. Yeah,
so time for the giveaway.
Since we've got the giveaway in, it's exclamation point Marvo. I completely missed it 7 minutes ago that I said I was going to pull this winner. All right. The winner of the Marvo deck is Archangel Alchemist. Congratulations for winning the Marvo deck. And then if you guys hang out for a little bit after we get done tweaking this deck, we will give away the Neriv Heart of the Storm deck. And so, yeah, for anybody that just got here, we're going to be giving away another deck as well.
Oh, Archangel Alchemist one? Nice.
Yeah. All right, let's see here. Let's go ahead and throw this thing into Architect. Okay, we're going to change this to use TCG player prices, and then we're going to group it by type. We're going to view it as a grid. We're going to set Neriv as the commander. And so the other kind of thing we do here is that we don't count the commander in the cost of the deck, and we don't count basic lands. So currently we are currently $10 over budget, and we've got 8 lands, 9 with NDFCs. So let's say we've got 8 lands. So currently we've got.
How often do we do these brews? We have been doing this show every single Sunday for 2 years.
Yep, most Sundays, I should say. There's once in a while we don't. Once in a while we've got something going on, but for the most part, every Sunday at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern.
Just say 7 p.m. Eastern.
Why? All the cool people live in the Central time zone. So
no, they don't.
Yes, they do. All of them do. Every single one. And so we are $10 over budget, and we've got 44 lands in the deck. So we need to cut expensive cards and replace them with not expensive cards. I think Actually, let's
Okay,
sort this by
you know what
price.
would be good in this deck is Twin Flame Tyrant.
Let's sort this
I
by
just saw
price
Twin
and
Flame
see.
Tyrant. I'm so sad.
Okay, so Gary is like $4.
Well,
I think we can
is
cut
that
him
just
because
a treatment? There's no way every Gary is $4.
I mean, there's the Duskmorn House of Commander, or the Duskmorn Commander deck one is like Theros Beyond.
That's on the list. There's no way.
Theros Beyond Death is $7. Commander 2014. Oh, Commander 2014 is dirt cheap. Okay, there we go. Actually, what we should do, maybe we don't do this enough, but we should.
What's the list cost?
I'm not sure. So what we should do, but we should do this more often, is just go to the optimized printing functions on here and set the cheapest printing.
Yep, so we should do that every week.
We should make sure to do that, because now that we did that, we're at $40, so we're actually about $10 under budget. So that's great. That's just to make sure that we get the cheapest version of all these cards. Yes, we can. So, okay, so now we are at the cheapest version. We're at $40, so we've got room to go, and we've got 44 lands in the deck currently, so we can add we're probably going to want to be at 38 or 40 in this deck, just because we were running a fairly high mana curve, I believe. Mana curve is 4.07, and it is very nicely distributed from 2 to 6 at 10 cards apiece. So we're going to want 38, 40 lands in this thing, and plenty of mana rocks. So, gosh, we're doing fine on budget. There really is an Ephemerate is the most expensive one at $4.
Yeah, but like,
yeah. The Perforos is $227. The creatures are all very, very reasonable. Blade of Selves is $3.
I mean, Panharmonicon we got room for, right?
We do have room for Panharmonicon.
We should throw. It's like $3. It's like it's kind of boring, but like it's another.
We're not here to play fair magic, remember?
No, we're not. We're trying to double the number of things we double.
Yeah, Panharmonicon's down to $3.30. So that is good. Mardu Devotee is a 1-cost mana dork.
Do you Fear of Burning Alive in the deck yet? Because it does double duty.
It is. Yeah, it's already in the deck. Oh yeah, Mardu Devotee. So Mardu Devotee is not a mana dork. It is a mana filter. When it enters, it scries too, so it's not like unblinkable. Yeah, I like filters. I like filter lands. I don't love mana filtering as much on creatures. And you can only activate it once a turn. Ooh, that's kind of bad. So it's not like you can just filter all of your mana. You can filter one mana on a creature. Yeah. I'm not in love with that. Mardu Siegebreaker. One red, white, and black, 4/4 Death Touch haste. When it enters, exile up to one other target creature you control until this creature leaves the battlefield. Whenever this creature attacks, for each opponent, create a tapped token that's a copy of the exile card attacking to that opponent. At the beginning of your end step, sacrifice those tokens. So you grab one of your creatures with this thing, swing it, and then you give Myriad to all of the
So the Myriad's cool because the tokens entering triggers the Warstorm Surge and all that crap. Then it smacks them and deals double damage when it hits them. So like,
it's really good. Yeah, no, Mardu Siegebreaker is great. Let's put that in the deck.
Because the last thing we do is go to the commander's page and find obvious cards. We don't do that first.
Yep. Yeah, so the reason we don't have necessarily that obvious one in there is, one, it's a new card, so we didn't necessarily know what it was, but then also, we don't just go straight through the Neriv's page right away. How's your haste enablers? I think we have like a couple, but we're not really particularly. We
don't want to focus on that.
Yeah, we're not particularly concerned with the haste because we're trying to blink more so than we are the haste. We do have some haste, but it's more about blinking and making copies of things to get ETB damage. So not really too worried about that. Okay, so we're at 66 cards right now, and 8 of those are lands. So we are at 58 non-lands. So we're at 42 lands for the deck. We should probably, honestly, once we throw a couple mana, we should probably throw a couple more mana rocks in this thing, and we might be maybe about done.
I think you're correct.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is while we're finishing this thing up, I'm going to start a new giveaway. This is going to be for the Neriv. So the entry code in the chat is going to be !Neriv, so !Neriv. We get another follower from BraveXC. Thank you. All right, so the giveaway
is a good move. If you came over from the raid and haven't followed yet, we do give the deck away.
Yeah, gameplay is live for anyone that wants to join in and wants to win this Neriv Heart of the Storm deck. It's !Neriv.
Is the N capitalized or not?
It is.
Matter?
I don't think it matters, but it's not. Archangel Alchemist, if you could please be so kind as to not enter this. What is required to win? You type in !Neriv in the chat, and then you can win. That is it. That is all that is required of you to win this deck. So let me grab a couple. Let's see. What do we want? Probably was it Rakdos Signet?
Calamity is in the deck.
Yeah, Calamity is in the deck. Yep. Rakdos Signet, Boros Signet, Orzhov Signet.
Orzhov Signet?
Yeah. Boros Signet, Orzhov Signet.
Orzhov, more like Borzhov.
All right, so now we are at 69 cards in the deck, with 8 of them being lands, which puts us at 61. So that puts us at 39 lands with a decent chunk of mana rocks. I think that's a good number.
That's a Magic the Gathering deck.
It is indeed. We've got a subscription from Primetime TW, so thank you for that. And then we've got a follow from Merlnath. All right, so yeah, okay. Well, I think this deck is pretty much ready to rock and roll. We've got a few dual lands in there, but obviously, if you win this deck, feel free to pimp out the mana base as much as you want.
Autism, are you trying to win a Calamity Galloping Inferno deck?
So Doug, we do not have any Mobilize in here because we're doing ETB stuff, with like War Storm Surge and things like that. Yes, we got more all chaps. Hourglass of the Lost.
It's capitalized. Let's read that.
It's capitalized. Yeah, it's so Hourglass of the Lost. Hourglass of the Lost. All right, so we got 2 and a white. It is a mana rock.
Oh, this is bonkers.
Remove X time counters from Hourglass of the Lost and exile it. Return each non-land permanent card from with mana value X from your graveyard to the battlefield. Activate owns a sorcery.
That's pretty cool.
It is fun. Let's put that in the deck.
It's like you have to crank up your ETB machine.
Yeah.
I like it.
Hourglass of the Lost. Let's put that in, and let's pull out
all the stops for another giveaway on the Nuts and Trashy Deck Building and Storytime Hour.
We're mostly red and black in this. We've got a little bit of white. We're mostly so cost, we're heavy red with some white and actually really not a lot of black. So let's pull out the Rakdos. Actually, let's pull out the Orzhov Signet in favor of the Hourglass of the Lost. Autism Gaming says maybe, but also isn't it good in this deck?
Isn't what good in this deck?
Is what good in this deck? Sword of the Animist, I'm assuming is what you meant, Number Voyage. Sword of the Animist is not budget, I don't think.
Or good in this deck?
Calamity is in the deck.
I said that.
Yeah, Calamity is already in the deck. Yeah.
I keep saying it's already in the deck, dude.
Yeah, Sword of the Animist is super not budget. I said I didn't think it was budget. It's $10. So
what does it do in this deck?
Gets lands. But we're also not swinging a lot, so it's like we're
not swinging at all.
It's a blanketly good card to get lands, but it's not like in this deck where we're not really trying to swing. It's not awesome. So, Solemn Simulacrum. Actually, with Solemn Simulacrum, that's not the worst idea since you're blanking it. I know you're not a Sad Robot fan, but we are playing a blink
What
deck.
year is it?
No, but just like we're playing a blink deck. That's like if there's ever a good place to play Solemn Simulacrum, it's a blink deck.
It's a blink deck in 2013.
It's still good now. We still need ramp. What's that sorcery you pay for to gain
Ironcrag
7 mana?
feet, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
It costs a colorless and 3 red, and then you get 7 mana, but you can only play 1 spell.
I won't lie. I kind of don't hate Sad Robot here.
It's cheap because it's not a good card anymore. But like, yeah, sure. Okay. It's like it's better than better cards in this specific deck because we're blinking. So
that's
what
I'm saying. Is like is it
I don't
like
hate Sad Robot? It's just like a card that's sort of just like gotten aged out.
It has a little bit. So the question is, what do we want to pull out in favor of it?
I don't want to run it over anything currently in the deck.
I think.
Like when Chupacabra doesn't really. I don't like Chupacabra and.
Chupacabra. I mean, it's a good blink target because you can just start killing creatures and stuff like that.
I don't want to kill creatures. I want to kill our opponent.
I mean, sometimes you need to do both. Sometimes
anything that deals damage could kill a creature.
Yeah. I think that's
and anything that doesn't deal damage can't. So.
I think that's fair. I think that's a fair criticism of Chupacabra in this deck. Also double black, so that's not great. Yeah, especially since we're not running like a ton.
Shriek Maw as well. I'm not a huge fan.
Yeah, Shriek Maw can come out. I still think you want Gary. Gary's too good.
Can I just say I hate shit like Wayfarer's Bauble?
Why is that?
I just there are just so many Magic cards where it's just like you can have a 90 card deck if you always run this kind of shit, and it's just like I don't want to run stuff that like it feels like it's just a pre-con card, right?
I mean, yeah.
Wayfarer's Bauble's a pre-con card. I just
actually,
I
if
there
was ever a deck for us to,
your hand is unacceptable, but it's got a bauble in it, so the hand's acceptable now. I want to run as few Magic cards that do something that's not exciting as possible, and like I can't think of anything less exciting than a Wayfarer's Bauble. Like
so Crimzette was actually just brought up what I was gonna bring up is like if there's ever a deck that we've built that wants a Soul Ring, it's probably this one. We do have the budget for it. We have a card. We have a card slot for it.
We were honestly we don't have a rule against Soul Ring. It's just a card that bores me.
Yeah. That is the card that is how both of us have approached Soul Ring with these. We generally don't put it in because we've either found a good way to build around it or whatever. This deck specifically though does have such a high mana curve, and it's in Mardu, so it doesn't ramp very well. Stuff like that. Like I think, and we have a card slot and the budget space for it. This might be a Soul Ring spot.
I have Soul Ring in decks that have Game Changers. In my 0 Game Changers decks, I have no Soul Ring.
Yeah, and then I mean,
but if you're playing a deck with Game Changers, like I don't mind the experience of being the first one to change the game, because if you play a Soul Ring, you're the arch enemy sometimes. Yeah, it feels that way. I don't want to play it turn 1 unless I have a really good play. And then, okay, you're great. You're way ahead of everybody. Yeah. So if you hold back so you don't become the arch enemy, then you didn't have a Soul Ring. You wasted it. And if it's not in your opening hand, it's kind of just uninspiring later. I just never liked it. It was always a personal thing. I didn't advocate it. I just said, I never want to draw this stupid ass card. So like, I just started cutting it, and I never miss it because you don't draw it a lot of the games. So you never notice that it's not in your deck. Because you just think
the only times you do notice it is when you get it like in a turn 1, like a turn 1 or turn 2, and then it just totally blows the game open, and it makes it like, and then it turns it into weird, like it turns into a weird arch enemy thing. So like, yeah, late game it doesn't really matter that much, but then early game it kind of ruins the rest of the game. So it's kind of like, you know.
So
I don't know.
Wayfarer's Bauble, great, it fixes mana, but like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not. I'm not excited by it. I would rather play something a little more fun. My $50
How
budget
about
deck, right?
what is the
Like,
name of that? There's a white. Is it Biza? Beza? Biza? The Bounding Spring. So, oh, it's too expensive. Damn. Because when it enters, you create a treasure token if an opponent has more lands than you. You gain 4 life if they have more life than you, and you make 2 blue fish creature tokens if an opponent has more creatures than you, and you draw a card if an opponent has more hands than you. So if you could blink that, you could get tons of value out of that.
I mean, like, we kind of need mana fixing. I just
Springleaf Drum, Biza. Yeah, Biza's not budget. It would be a good. I think it would be a good fit in this deck, but it's just not budget. Yeah. We do need like one card. Ideally, it's focused somewhere in the neighborhood of ramp.
well, I don't know. Maybe we just put Wayfarer's Bauble in the deck.
Would you rather have the bauble, or would you rather have Soul Ring?
I would rather have neither, but like I am apparently I don't know. I feel like I'm more like an old man yelling at a cloud each day.
Knight of the White Orchid isn't the worst option.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, it's a blink deck, so Knight of the White Orchid could be kind of busted.
Yeah. You want to make sure that like you got. I mean, I don't know. Any planes is fine. Like you can only blink it so many times before you can run out of planes, but.
Well, not if you have stuff that's like Plain Swamp.
Yeah,
like,
if you put some
there
like
are 25-cent lands that have both.
Yeah,
types
if
now.
you put it in those tap dual lands with the mana types, you're fine.
Yeah.
Now, yep, Knight of the White Orchid seems like a good option. Oh, wait, hold on a second. Why is that so expensive? Did I not catch?
But like white's also like our least necessary color, so like the White Orchid would only be in there to get like a dual land.
Right. Okay, let's unselect that. Was Knight of the White Orchid really expensive for no fucking reason? Oh yeah, I just grabbed a weird version of it. Yeah, so buck for Knight of the White Orchid. Okay, this is what is Core Cartographer?
Core Cartographer is a 4-mana 2/2 that just goes and gets a plane. So like,
yeah. Okay, I think we're good. So let's pull the winner for this Neriv deck. The winner is Crust to Dust. Congratulations, Crust to Dust. You're the winner of this Neriv Heart of the Storm deck. I think this is actually going to be a pretty fun deck.
I don't say so, but you think it's actually going to be pretty fun. Whereas I always knew this deck would be exciting.
Yeah. So Crust, I will be sending you a DM here, like pretty much right now. Just sending over, asking for your shipping information.
I like doing 2 giveaways.
Yeah.
Maybe we should do 2 giveaways more often.
We got that. So, yeah. Fun deck. We've got to give away 2 decks this week. Like you said, it's fun. We don't get to give away 2 decks very often. So that's a good time.
Yeah, I like it better. Who knew giving away
more stuff is
better.
Fun. Yeah. So everybody, thank you for tuning in. Everybody, anybody that came over from the 3-3 Elk stream and hung around, I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you come back. Sometimes 3-3 Elk, sometimes 3-3 Elk themselves, comes in and hangs out in the comments too. So yeah, thanks everyone for jumping in. We will be back again. Let's see. Next week we should have a show. There's a chance I might be a little tied up, but I think I should be back in time to do the show next week. Otherwise, we will definitely have one the week after. So
this is how you build consistency.
That's correct. All right.
We might have a show next week, and we might do a giveaway.
It's like 95% we're going to have a show next week.
Oh, my God.
I'm playing in the pit band in my wife's musical, and we have a Sunday matinee, but I think I should be done in time.
Community theater, folks, it takes precedence.
It's actually high school theater.
That's worse, right? You get that?
Yeah, it is. It definitely is. Yeah, no question. So
Yangling Wind Rider. All right, I can see that.
All right, everybody, thank you for tuning in. Yeah, if anybody has any good like suggestions for commanders, definitely keep them in mind, and then you can dump them in the chat next week, and we'll see if we want to build it. So thank you everybody for tuning in. Should we find a raid?
Just
We got a good raid. Let's see here. Anybody have suggestions for a raid?
3 people go over in the raid, so it doesn't matter. No one's going to stay.
Let's see.
It's about the gesture. So find someone who would appreciate the gesture.
Okay, let's find someone who would appreciate the gesture. Let's see.
Thanks, everybody. This was a
appreciate
great
everybody
episode.
for tuning in. Yeah.
I want to win this deck. Am I eligible?
You are super not.
Post the architect links in chat while people are still
here. I should do that, actually. Yeah, I will post the architect link in chat right now so that anybody that wants to build this deck has the ability to do so. You can easily find it there. Okay. Let's see if I can't find a raid channel. All right, we're going over to Candy Sprinkle. So everybody have a good time. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be here again next week to build another budget commander deck. So thanks. That's right. I gotta wait 10 seconds before I can actually send the raid. I always forget about that. All right, now we're going. Dun, dun, dun.
Ooh, raw dog and a pasta.
Both Talions, Ristic and Counterbalance.
EDH.
All right, we did it.
So much. You got us at the tail end of a CDH game. We have a Thor's thoughts.
All righty.
Yes.